was actually the second place team in the Philippines going in. The fact that they're now in top 6, I mean, yes, this is an elimination game, but are they going to be able to just kind of shine here, get themselves into that top 4? Is that something that you had on your bingo card?
I did, right? So I think BLACKLIST is one of the stronger teams in this tournament as well. But time and time again, I think there were a couple of gaps that they have been shown to be exposed by the opponent teams, especially like a team like Nova. It's something they need to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, they do, right? I mean, Nova's not a team that you want to kind of take lightly, and you can even see it here with first pick. They took a lot of deliberation going for that early. They could have gone for Lung, they could have gone for anything else, but they decided to do what Fearless Esports did in the last match, and it was go for the early, right? And Muchi on the early, I would probably say, is probably more fierce than KK's early, in my personal opinion anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Muchi is one of the star players of this team, right? If not part of the 5 star-studded players on the side of Nova as well. And I think they're looking for a very big performance. But right now, the Dharma has been let loose, right? So they're going to be snapped up immediately by BLACKLIST International. And I think this might be the start of a winning formula for the Filipino region representatives.
Yeah, I mean, the Dharma, right, is a huge pick for Chami. That's been one of his greatest picks up into the Clash lane, right? Normally, it doesn't go quite smooth for him when he was like on the likes of the Organ, what we saw in the last series they play, which we thought was going to be juicy on it, but no. They do lock into the Lady Sun, so Golden Kite does get one of his favorite picks, but we look over to the side of Nova, and we speak his name once, just a little bit like the Candyman. He arrives on the draft of Nova, alongside Diadeer as well, which got banned out in the last match as well. So we're getting some more hero picks coming through, and you can kind of see the difference in the tails between these two teams. Musashi coming through for Juicy as well. So taking a little bit of a note from Team Secret's TNX.
For sure, this is a classic battle, right? Ever since Ogren got released, it's been a one-on-one situation, Musashi against Ogren, a test of a player's skills. Who actually is the better player? And at this point, the couple power coming out from Nova, the Diadeer along with the Ogren, this might be a winning combination for the side of Nova as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in it, right? I mean, this all depends on how it's executed, which I think was the problem in Fearless Esports Game 1 and Game 2, right? It wasn't the draft, it was the execution. So hopefully we see that BLACKLIST are able to execute a little bit better, and the same for the side of Nova. So there's a little bit more. I can see this game being very scrappy, because both of these teams can scrap, right? Like BLACKLIST is known for scrapping. They ban out the Byron as well to kind of try and stop the scrapping limitations for Nova as well.
Yep, the stunts coming in is going to be very detrimental to the side of BLACKLIST, right? Especially when you have someone like Lady Sun.
Yeah.
Golden Kite, I think, is a fantastic player, but Lady Sun does have her limits as well. Yeah. And going up against Arlie, Muchi is definitely going to be able to squeeze in a couple extra hits with the Maple Dance as well. So it's really of a big concern for them not to get stunned. The Byron pick, Byron ban actually is a very smart one, along with the Angela. We don't want those tank shredders coming in.
It's a really weird, right? Like, Angela was only probably... is she banned or picked? Oh, it's got
Oh.
That confused was like, hang on, how have they managed to ban the Angela and Picket as well? But no, this is a hero that's been pretty much banned 100% of this playoffs, this second stage of the playoffs, right? So this seems to be a little bit of a clear rotation or sort of position change on the draft and the meta, right? So we do see the Ganamo, something that we wanted to see last game, and banning out the Motsu is kind of a good thing, right? But that gave him the green light on the side of BLACKLIST to get the Ganamo.
Okay, so let me open up BLACKLIST draft and gaps here at this point. So there's going to be one fine line in the center of their positions, and that is the entry point. And I love the fact that Nova recognized this as well. This is where the Guan Yu comes in. He's going to be able to gather every single person up, and instead of trying to split the team fights as most people do against a lineup on the side of BLACKLIST roster, they will instead try to just couple and clump them up all together at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw that towards the end of the side of Nova's roster there, the Guan Yu and the Lady Chen. So a very effective Lady Chen we've seen all part of the last match series, right? So using the Destructive Deluge, being able to kind of just zone out, but deal a lot of damage onto your enemies, but also create a big piece of space for your team. But then getting the Guan Yu, you're going to be able to kind of like move them into that Destructive Deluge, right?
Yeah, very potent combination, right? But of course, with that being said, we're talking a little bit too early, because that will require you to be able to get your Razor Cavalry at the right time to push everyone inside. And that's a really hard thing to do.
mean, you was all about the Razor Cavalry the other day, weren't you, Ken? You loved the horses coming through. I mean, it may be substituted for a bicycle in this sense because that is the skin for Guan Yu. But here we are, getting into game 1 of the last match of the day between BLACKLIST and Nova Esports. A lot on the line as we enter the Gorge.
And that's right. And it's going to be really spicy because we know tournament life is on the line. One team is going to go home. One team continues the dream. Who will it be?
I mean, only time will tell, right? Head into this first match first match of game 2, right? So let's see how they do going into this one. The Gorge, we have the horses coming through. We've got the Masashi coming through as well. Interesting is that last pick Liang, right? He's going to be able to try and shut down and negate that Guan Yu. Just try and suppress him, keep him locked in. And he's got more ways of doing that, right? He's got his, not only his ultimate, but he's got like his Shield of Books and stuff like that. So the CC, there's plenty on the side of BLACKLIST.
Yeah, not only that, he's, I think his main target for the control is going to be Muchi or CY as well, because that's the one that really makes the draft strong when CY uses that Conductor of Souls. He does have that survivability.
Yeah, he does. I mean, we saw it last game with Team Secret, right? They picked it. They was able to use the Conductor of Souls in the last little part of that team fight. The sustain comes through. So it is a good pick for the side of Team Nova, and more importantly for CY. He's been showing very great jungle prowess throughout the entire of the tournament. But right now, you can kind of see a very basic early game, right? I mean, both the Lady Sun and the Ali need plenty of time to actually activate, right?
Yes, and this is where the strategy comes in, right? Nova wants to place more emphasis to allow Muchi to get that gold advantage so he can win that one-on-one against Golden Kite. They don't mind losing Wendy against Aaron in the mid lane because it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, I mean, the Lady Gen's there to create space, right? Just use that to chuck the deluge, use their other abilities just to kind of have that CC, the untargetable, the lock-in place kind of thing, right? So just kind of used as a bit of a bait. But you can kind of see here, both on the coaches' faces of both these teams, there is a lot of tension, right? Any misstep in this early game could lead to a detriment.
Oh, they're going to look to go. Conductor of Souls is going to be committed. The Ocean of Tears, CY taking a decent amount. They're looking to fight just with the Death Precipice. They'll flash away by Chammy. He's going to be fine. But BLACKLIST International come out a little worse for wear.
Yeah, Chammy Whammy is able to get out of there. He's not going to get stuck in a bit of a jammy, is our boy Chammy. But right now, into the clash lane, you do see there.
Top lane, Chammy gets pushed away. No flash, of course. He's going to be pushed back into under the tower. Chammy will heal up.
How many players can you say have done that same kind of situation and stayed alive like Chammy?
I don't think we can identify any, right? Because most of the time when we see the Razor Cavalry, it's almost instant death. Right now, CY will be in charge of making this a nightmare for the side of BLACKLIST International.
Yeah, we can already see like the use of the Death Precipice trying to kind of slow down Chammy or Juicy there. But we see the Illuminating Slash just trying to pick off these last little bit. But Wendy is coming in with a rotate here. Perfect pass in.
Oh, go in for this one. He does a decent amount of damage. And CY will get first blood, and he walks away. In the bottom lane, they're going to go for more. Golden Kite flashing away solo, but does stay alive.
Solo Bolo there. We see that Golden Kite's able to actually just roll back. And this is a bit of the same story, but on two sides of the map, right? Chammy almost went down, and also Golden Kite almost went down. But it was kind of very, very close.
Yep. So they're dancing on knife edge at this point for the side of BLACKLIST International, because Nova, they can see the advantage, where they can get this advantage from, right? And at this point, Xuan, I think, has been doing a good job of controlling Chammy 1, which is not usually the case when you have this matchup, because with the slows, you know, Guan Yu doesn't get that kind of stamina recovery for his heroic charge.
Yeah, you can kind of see the CY is already leading the gold lead as well, right? Between the jungles, you got the 2.3 to the enemies 1.9. So a lot more faster clear for the side of CY. Maybe a bit of an invite into an engage into this mid lane, just clearing it up, getting a little bit more gold because Wendy doesn't need it. But giving it over to CY is going to be a bit better in terms of this team comp, obviously in terms of the itemization and in terms of getting that.
Yeah, and you know, they want to have the advantage for Golden Kite, but it's pretty clear now Muchi has that. So the only other way they can come in is probably getting from Chammy's lead or Aaron's lead, both of which they don't have.
Oh, they do have the suppression. They go in Juicy, doing some serious damage. The Conductor himself, not enough to keep CY alive. Chammy's going to get the kill, but Juicy dies in return. It's a 1-for-1, and they both walk away. Juan, again, just scrambling to that top lane.
Yeah, I don't know if you missed that towards the end part of that team fight, right? If those couple blades just kind of shifted a little bit more to the right, that would have been Shuan down as well.
Yep, and take a look at the benefit of having Muji get fed early in the game. Level 6 is able to take this one, okay, I'm not going to fail my math here. It's a 3-on-1 on the Tyrant.
Quick maths by Kin Dofu, eh? Your favorite kind of Dofu. But we, we saw that they was able to get that neutral objective onto the side of Nova. So extra damage coming over. We can already see there's a big priority down into the farm lane T1. It kind of gives a bit more pressure over to the side of BLACKLIST because you know that Golden Kite doesn't have that safe space anymore.
Yep, and you can see, right, Nova is already neutralizing every single lane of pressure coming in from BLACKLIST. And as this goes on, you will see the lead start to widen, and BLACKLIST will not be able to come back into this game unless Chammy gets his jam on.
He's jammed with the wham and the slam blam. Thank you, ma'am. Is Chammy is going to be able to do it? We'll only time will tell. They were able to get the Overlord, weren't they, though? So I feel like a bit more pressure into these lanes will be good for the side of BLACKLIST. But it does give over quite a bit of gold when they take the Vanguards on the side of Nova. And currently the gold is actually going over to Nova as well. So they've got to be careful on the side of BLACKLIST that they don't let that kind of slip further away.
Yep, don't let that 1,000 gold be a mistake and misunderstanding. It is going to be a big lead coming from Nova.
Big lead. I mean, there's a destined counter, right? Just trying to force them away out of that one. But the Destructive Deluge doing a lot of damage onto Juicy. So even if they try and take a team fight here, we're already seeing that BLACKLIST is already playing a bit of a handicap, right?
Okay, and Golden Kite is alone. So look at what Nova is doing, right? They identified Golden Kite. He needs to make sure he steps away. The whole team is here.
Oh, Golden Kite trying to make a run for it. Not able to do it with a Soaring Grease Dragon. Cuts off the angle of retreat, and they're going to take out Golden Kite.
Yeah, classic case of overstaying your welcome was Golden Kite into the farm lane. He was trying to get that T1 right. We saw the hopes and dreams of BLACKLIST Golden Kite, but it just was crushed by Guan Yu in that farm lane. And right now, it's kind of paid dividends for the side of Nova. They're able to get to this T2, try and take it. But they're fighting on two fronts here.
Yeah, so from an aggression on the bot T1, it becomes now aggression to the T2 on the side of BLACKLIST International as well. And here's the thing, Aaron just hit level 8, he does not have the gold, he does not have the EXP, so it's really hard for him to get the damage in. Right now, there's not enough damage coming in from BLACKLIST International at all.
Yeah, not enough damage at all, right? I mean, we can kind of see the Scepter Reverberation come through for Gan and Mo, but we have the Massive Agony onto Lady Chen, so a very big core item. Doomsday being built onto Muchi on the Ali, and we get the Axe of Torment coming through for Golden Kite, so he's already built that anti-squishy hero item, so Meteor already being built, so the armor penetration's there as well.
Yeah, and this is really important if they want to survive in the mid-game. Right now, we're still in early game, guys. Yeah. 7 minutes into the game, 3-1 scoreline. Nova definitely has and will need to push the advantage, because if they don't, they allow BLACKLIST to recover. Late game Gan and Mo, Aaron's going to be a beast.
Oh, but look in the mid lane. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of action. A team gathering more than anything else. And CY just scaring them away. And they're taking a decent amount with the flowing sight. All 5 of them will back off.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a counter-engage from the thanks for the idea, right? That Destiny counter was just keeping
Oh, Tammy got caught out with a flash, not able to get away, and Waypin's gonna get that kill. Nova Esports now looking to make their way into the mid lane, put a little bit of pressure on that T1.
Yeah, a lot more pressure onto the T1 into the Clash lane, and they're looking to put some pressure here into the T2, so almost reciprocating the farm lane. Already conditioned down there, but here we go!
Backside, and they find Aaron. They get another pick off, and Nova Esports, they don't care where the T1 is. They haven't even taken that one out. They're going to dive, and they're going to make it super difficult for you to get any sort of farm.
Yep, the timing by Nova is just so impeccable, right? Because at this time, every kill they take, they can convert it into something. And right away, there's the T3 exposed for the side of BLACKLIST International.
Yeah, I mean, the fight may not just end here, right? We were able to get the Crimson Golem over to the side of BLACKLIST, but that's kind of just like a very minor victory, right? Just keeping hold of those buffs that should be rightfully yours if you still have control of your jungle. But right now, we see that Nova are 26k to 22 on the side of BLACKLIST, and they're just helping themselves to their jungle.
Yep, 4,000 is a big marker, especially when you're playing against a team like Nova, right? That 4,000 goal lead feels like it's 10, feels like it's 20. And at this point, 8.5 minutes into the game, BLACKLIST need to figure something out, because if they don't do this soon, I'm thinking, what, 12 minutes? It could spell the end of the game for them for number 1.
Yeah, I mean, we speak about BLACKLIST doing something, right? So what can they do in this game 1, right, against the side of Nova?
Chemi has to perform like a absolute menace, right? He needs to be able to catch the backlines on Nova, or at this case, just anyone.
Yeah.
More than one person will do, but anyone from the side of Nova.
Yeah, I mean, anybody right now, right? Anyone can answer the call on BLACKLIST, right? Anyone want to actually do anything, they need to take some of these towers as well, because they have no T1s. They only have one neutral objective going for the side of BLACKLIST, but right now, that's not actually going to serve them any kind of
Oh, they got him on
benefit.
CY, they get the pick off and they destroy him. Golden Kite with a nice ambush. BLACKLIST International stick it together, find that pick off.
Okay, that's a good start, right?
Yep.
But they need a little bit more right now. Can they get more out of the map? Because right now, pressure coming in from Nova.
Yeah, a lot of pressure here from Nova. We can see the T2 looking to be assaulted here from that team. Nova is not going to be able to clean it up here because we see the couple blades come through. They're able to clear the minion wave as well. Chami was actually waiting in the bot.
Yep, they may have caught out Chemi. No, not Chemi. Xuan at this point. Right now, Xuan I think is the most survivable out of Nova, just based on the fact of his rotations, right? But at the same time, Xuan is also the most vulnerable because if he gets consistently stunned up, he's gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to take a man off his horse, he's kind of like a bit not fatal as he was before, right? He's not be able to trample all over the noggins of BLACKLIST.
Oh, the
there's
Razor Cavalry on the backside with the heroic charge, and Chami gets blown up with Chaz. Both of them getting killed. Juan with a nice play, repositioning. They're going to take the turn as well.
Yep. Neutral objectives, kills, everything. Itemization going over to the side of Nova for now, right?
Aaron all by himself. He's just trying to split push, but all he can do is throw in a couple of blades.
Oh.
He's going to get under tower, and he's going to get sliced and diced, and Zwan will pick that one off as well.
Yep, they're falling, they're crumbling. BLACKLIST International, they're struggling to keep up against the pacing of Nova. And once again, we might see another monster game this time coming out from Nova.
Yeah, I mean, I think the side of BLACKLIST, right, they just kind of need to go back to the chopping board, right? Just chalk up something that's going to work, because now that they've lost the higher ground turrets, that comeback that we was talking about maybe just even moments ago doesn't look like it's going to happen, right?
Yep, even if they make the catch, it's not going to be a kill.
Oh,
Speaking
Muji
of
does
catch.
some work, and Chaz gets blown up. The Soaring Dragon on the backside. They've gotten 3. With Eric coming right back into this one. He wants to fight, but Golden Kite down. I don't know how you can fight. The base is wide open. The mid and the bottom T3s have been there. They do have the minions. CY still up in front. He needs to be careful. Juicy taking a lot of damage. He does get killed. He gets executed. CY will take that. And it looks like Nova Esports have got this game with Aaron. One last chance in the fountain, just trying to stay alive. They don't have the minions, but Nova Esports will just wait for the last super minion to be here. And it looks like Nova Esports will take game 1. And again, it seemed very systematic, but they were able to take this one out. Very well played by Nova Esports.
Yeah, with time on their side, right? The privilege of the Death Spawner. They was able to get the minions all the way to that crystal, even with like no pressure. Just to say, hey bro, we got 5 people here. What's the matter? We can do this.
Yep, they're just on a different tier, right? Because at this point, every single move they make is fully calculated. There is no risk involved. Even if they lose the fight, there is no pressure to be had from the side of BLACKLIST International. And if they win the fight, there's every single ounce of pressure coming in from all 3 lanes.
Yeah, it's the only problem when you've got that Guan Yu that's able to give a lot of aggression onto the side of Nova, right? I really feel like it was Xuan's whole MO in that game 1 just to kind of set the pace for the side of Nova Esports.
Yep, kind of reminds me of my Guan Yu. No, I'm lying here.
Your Guan Yu roam?
Yeah.
Guan Yu roam?
Chill, guys, chill. I'm just trying to have fun.
At the expense of our MMR, right?
Yeah,
When you're doing these crazy tactics.
We
just
pay
trying
the
to-
cost.
Yeah,
We
we
pay
pay
the
the cost.
cost.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile, guys. investment, it pays off.
One
right?
team, one dream.
Yeah. So at this point, I think Nova are just a more well-versed and more adept team at making full use of their composition. Right? The understanding the timings have been much cleaner. Not sure why they allowed the Diadea pick, because she was monumental in that growth.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, right? I mean, Orgren, CY's Orgren was pretty fantastic as well, just being able to kind of navigate where he wants to go, not kind of like sticking to the boundaries of the Gorge map. He was able to use the Path of Passage, just be able to get into that back line and then set it up for Guan Yu as well.
I mean, it's really easy when you're able to kind of find that angle because you have so much map control. You're able to just kind of go in from the reverse side and the sides. You basically take any angle that you want, but being able to push them out and to control that and to get the easy pick off was great. But let's check out what they did in these highlights here by Nova Esports.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuhan. and I'm the official 2024 HOK Championship Observer. The tournament highlight of the day is here. 3, 2, 1, showtime!
Right, so thank you very much, Yuan, there. And that is our official tournament observer, just giving us the best highlights of this Game 1. But it seemed like a much more vicious Game 1 compared to Team Secret's Fearless Esports, right? I mean, yes, we had the team wipe in Game 1, but this, just Swan on the Guan Yu was just so deadly, right?
Yeah, it's one of the things, right? If you take a look at some of the highlights here, they actually figured out how to catch out certain members on the side of Nova, but it feels like they don't understand the full puzzle of what, you know, Nova offers right there.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw there from Waypip, right? He was able to use the immobilization, but then Chami didn't quite understand the skills that, hey, if I dash away, that's still going to follow me and still absolutely mess me up. And here, we saw it a little bit too often in the farm lane where members of BLACKLIST were just kind of overcompensating and overextending a little bit too much, especially when that T1 fell.
This is why you kind of get pushed into a corner, right? Because there was not much options left. You had to clear the wave so you could deal with lesser pressure on two ends of the map. But end of the day, the lead was just too much by Nova. They were too systematic, they were too clean. It's like a surgery. They picked them limb by limb.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit too hard, too fast, too quick, right, for the side of BLACKLIST to even come back from that Game 1. But hey, this is why it's a best of 5, so they can actually reformulate their ideas and try and stop what is going to happen. But we're going to look at the MVP of this one. Any guesses? I'm going to go with Shuan Yu, right?
Shuan Yu, no, that's actually like it. Actually, that's really good. I mean, he was completely on point, right?
Rebrand.
He was, like, the positioning was so good. Just starting that and getting it easy early, 2 pickoffs, was monumental for those team fights.
Okay, you know why? Because there is a team that is able to allow him to make the flanks, because everyone was so focused on CY, everyone was so focused on Muji. They needed to kill the Arlie, they needed to kill the Allgren, and when you're so tunnel visioned onto so many different targets, nobody remembers about Xuan, and Xuan is more than happy to oblige. He says, let me take you for a horseback ride, not one that you enjoy. No,
yeah, it was a very bumpy ride up a very steep mountain face, and we can kind of see here in terms of the goal difference on the side of Nova to BLACKLIST. So even the supports, right, there was a lot of difference there, 2k at least, and then you see from Muji here, so 8.5 to the 6.7, and then you can kind of see within the itemization that going for the Sky Piercer, almost having the Daybreaker, it would have been a lot more fatal than it already was for BLACKLIST. And you can see here with the damage of Muji, only 28k, so it was really, once more, paying dividends to this Lady Gem pick, which we was talking about in Team Secret's match, right?
Yeah, I mean, Wendy is a star player as well. He came from a professional league, and now that he has touched you know, onto this plane of experience, Wendy is showing us how it's done. 78,000 worth of hero damage dealt across to the side of BLACKLIST International. Now, bear in mind, this is always in combination with Xuan as well. Xuan used that Razor Cavalry to push them back into the Destructive Deluge. One we talked about early, right before when the ban picks were happening already, and they made it a reality.
Yeah, it's only so many teams that can pick up the Guan Yu, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very rare breed, just being able to play it. But you're just seeing the strength. And again, this is top tier, right? Everybody is so good here, and you have to be able to make those plays. Repositioning is so key. And to kind of Kin's point about the Lady John, Wendy was just able to have a really good job with that second initiation.